Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome to Arrows DIY. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Magnolia wreath for $1. This Magnolia wreath is perfect for the farmhouse aesthetic, and I love it for fall. I saw this on Magnolia.com. This wreath was selling for $98, but we're not gonna be paying that. Here on my channel, I like to do high-end dupes on a budget. So if that's something you're interested in, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I also enjoy doing Dollar Tree DIYs and thrift flips as well. All right, let's get started. For this DIY, you're gonna need 6 cereal boxes. You're gonna cut them along one of the seams to lay them open and flat. Once all 6 are cut, we're gonna go ahead and use this 2-inch diameter bottle. You can use any bottle, but I'm using my Mod Podge bottle. Take a ruler and line it up and measure 6 inches from the bottom of that circle. Then just roughly draw a round teardrop shape, and that'll be your leaf. We're going to cut that out next and use that as a template for our leaves. So once I got them all traced out, I went ahead and I cut it. I stacked 3 of the cereal boxes. That way we save time. But first I cut it in half so that I could cut it easier and it wouldn't be so heavy as I cut it. So I just went ahead and cut that. Now on this next part, I figured that if I lined up the leaf to the seams, to those folds, the folds look more like the veins of the leaf and helps them fold naturally. So that's what I did. Then I just continued to trace it out on the other spots. Once I have them all folded, I went ahead and I painted it with this nutmeg brown color by Apple Barrel. My paint was almost finished, so I went ahead and I watered it down, and then I poured it into this little container to paint. My little helper is here to help me approve the job. My little helper's here to make sure that I do a good job. So now I'm going to fold all these leaves in half, and we're going to paint on the cereal box side, not on the cardboard side. We're going to paint on the side with all the drawings on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this color by Folk Art called Bright Green, as well as this Apple Barrel color in Pavement, which is a dark gray color. And I go ahead and I mix that up, and I'm going to give all of these one rough coat. Now bear with me because we're going to do many coats, and that's what's going to give it the dimension that we need. I also use this technique with this paintbrush I got at the Dollar Tree. I just band out from the center upward just to make it look like veins of a leaf. Next, I took this color by Folk Art called Yellow, as well as this Pavement color again, and it made the coolest color. It made kind of like a greenish. I think this color is perfect for the fall. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these all one rough coat. When blending your colors together, be sure to leave a little spot of yellow untouched. Now here I messed up, I painted the wrong side. But then again, I remembered to paint the right side. Now once that paint was almost dry, I went ahead and dry brushed the leaves that we had painted before in that bright green color mixed with Pavement. Then I left a little spot there of that yellow color, and I go ahead and I dab that on to give it dimension and color. Now this way of folding the leaves is way better, so I recommend using your ruler, lining it up, and it forms the perfect crease. I wish I would have done that from the start. Now I'm going to take this color by Apple Barrel called Warm Buff, which is my all-time favorite color, and I'm going to put a little tiny bit of Pavement in it to darken it up a little bit. Then I add a little bit of this yellow color by Apple Barrel, another Plaid product, just to give all of these a nice color to add when we add the antique wax later. It accepts the color naturally. Now we're gonna make another mixture, like a dark brown color, because we want this wreath to have a lot of dimension and color. So we've made 7 paint mixtures so far. So hang in there, guys, we're almost done. I sped this up a lot, so hopefully you're enjoying this process. So now I go ahead and give it a rough coat. I'm not worried about covering the letters or anything because we are going to add another layer to these colors. So as always, right before I finished with the paint mixture, I dry brushed the leaf that we painted right before, just to give a cohesion in the color. I want all of these leaves to be in the same family of colors. Now I added a little bit of this green color and a little bit of the warm buff color. Now I'm just going to use this to speckle some random spots on these leaves. Like I said, I just want this to be very natural and very random, because I feel like that's what gives the beauty to the wreath. So now I'm going to mix this yellow color called Moon Yellow with this chocolate sprinkle color to make another very interesting color. Now this is going to help it look more like fall. Now I'm taking antique wax, and this is the white antique wax, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of brush on the color, but the motion is very important. So what I'm using, a baby wipe, I'm going to start at the center and I'm going to fan out upwards to follow that natural leaf shape, and I think this makes it look so much more high-end than just a cereal box. Now I go a little heavy on some of them because now I'm going to go in with this antique wax. Now we're going to go on both sides with this wax. First, lightly on the front side of the leaf, and heavy on the back side of the leaf. This will give it the perfect magnolia leaf look. So on my channel, I like to do high-end dupes, Dollar Tree DIYs, as well as thrift flips. So if you're enjoying this process and my creativity, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button and subscribe so you can craft with me more often. So when you subscribe, it really helps me because I just started my channel. So every time you guys hit subscribe and leave comments down below, it really makes my day. So these are the leaves here that I messed up on. I'm just going to paint the backs of those in this dark brown color that we made earlier. Once all the leaves are dried, I went ahead and I put one healthy coat of the hard coat Mod Podge. This will help seal the color and protect our hard work. Now this is part of the fall challenge hosted by Sonja over at Domestic Diva DIY. She does a lot of thrift flips and loves farmhouse decor. So if you guys like that, once this video ends, go check out her channel. It's amazing. Now I'm going to take this wreath that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's a 14-inch wreath wire form, and I'm going to use this paper bag, and I'm just going to cut out 2 strips that are 2 inches in width. Now we're going to use these to wrap around the wreath form. It's really hard to glue paper to metal, so this is going to help us have a nice canvas to hot glue our leaves to our wreath form. Now I use Gorilla Hot Glue in case you are wondering, and it's very secure. I really recommend it. So I just went ahead and I attached that first side on there, and I'm just gonna wrap it around the wreath form. Once that ends, I hot glue that around as well, and as you can see here, I'm just gonna start hot gluing the leaves on. So I'm gonna start hot gluing them about an inch apart, and I don't want every single leaf to be exactly the same, so I do turn it slightly as I add the next leaf on. I know you can see this, I'm just trying to explain what was in my head as I was doing this. I don't want these to be perfect, so after I add about 6 of them, some of them I randomly point on upward on the wreath form. I'm sorry, I hope I'm making sense. So at this first round here, I'm randomly picking the brown and the green. I separated the leaves into 2 piles. This is the second row that I'm doing now, and this is going more outward on the wreath form. And I'm grabbing the leaves from the brown pile of leaves. So I'm just flapping the first layer that we put on. I'm flapping those over, and I'm just gonna add the brown leaves on to that layer all the way around that wreath form. That way it gives more of a full effect. You want it to feel full. Once you go all the way around the wreath and you're happy with how all the spacing is, we're going to add one more layer. This is the final go around on this wreath. So I'm just going to hot glue these leaves on an angle, and we're going to angle them to the same direction, the clockwise form, but we're going to push it back so it's kind of leaning backwards. That way this wreath looks good from every direction, so when it's on your wall you don't see any of that paper anymore. Once you go all the way around, we're going to go ahead and add the final. We're going to cover the back of the wreath to make it look finished, in case you want to put this in front of your mirror. It will still look good on there. I need to paint that one little leaf there. Other than that, but that's not too hard to do, so that's it. That's how easy it is to make this wreath for $1. You could I use plaid paints, folk art, as well as apple barrel, and you can also get them on Amazon. So you can use any acrylic paint you have on hand, but I think what really made the difference was the antiquing wax at the end. It really made it look high end. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to talk to me, I want to know what you think about this wreath. Leave it in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can buy me a coffee. I'll leave the links in the description below. Have a great day, and thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, friends. Bye.